time to call your lawyer.
As we do at this point on Wednesday mornings, place a call to our lawyer friend, our attorney friend, Bruce L. Scheiner, attorney for the injured, and ask the question of the week. If you submitted a question, perhaps today's the day you get your answer. Now, before we dive into this, I want to remind you, this is just general legal conversation, not to be a substitute in any way for actual legal advice. In your personal situation, you've got to sit down face-to-face with a legal professional to really get a grip on your situation. Just can't hear stuff on the radio and make decisions based on that. However, it is a great learning experience as we learn more about the law here. And certainly, if you do need a consultation with a professional, an attorney, you can always give my friends a call at Bruce L. Scheiner and Associates. I'll give you their contact information for a free consultation coming up here. Some things we can generally say, though, this applies across the board to any legal situation. Don't make any statements, don't let anyone record any conversations, and don't sign anything, without speaking to a legal professional first. With that in mind, let's see what Bruce thinks of today's legal brain teaser. Would you please help me welcome Bruce L. Scheiner, attorney for the injured, at Kicks Country 92.9. Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning, Todd. How's your day going?
Things are going just fine. Are we at what they call the dog days of summer yet? It sure feels like it with the heat and humidity, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're in the dog days, that's for sure.
Well, there are worse things, I suppose, than running in between air-conditioned building, air-conditioned vehicle, that kind of thing. And our question of the day sort of illuminates how things can be very tragic at times for people and very devastating. So I hope that you'll jump in and be able to provide some answers for somebody here who's, unfortunately, we're having a lot of questions these days, a lot more questions, a lot more openness about sexual impropriety. And unfortunately, that's the road we're going down with today's question. Are you ready?
I am ready, Todd.
All right. The question says this: my 13-year-old daughter attended a church-related camp in northern Florida. While there, she and one of the other girls were molested by one of the camp counselors. The camp director had the counselor arrested and has been charged with molesting a minor. It turns out the camp had failed to do a background check on the counselor, who had a previous sexual assault conviction. My daughter has been severely traumatized, and we feel the camp should pay for counseling and therapy for her, as it will take her a very long time to recover. The camp is affiliated with a huge church, but one of my neighbors thought you couldn't sue a church organization. Is that true? What can your lawyer do for me? Got several questions woven into one there. What do you make of that?
It certainly is not true that you cannot sue a church. Put it in a positive way. You absolutely can sue a church. And over the years, we've heard a lot about improprieties by members of the church, pastors and priests, whatever. So, yes, you can sue a church. Unfortunately, and I don't really know if it's coming out of the woodwork because of the Me Too movement or what's going on, but I've had more calls this past year for sexual improprieties than I've had in the rest of my career.
It's terrible.
It's terrible, the things that are happening. Teachers in schools. I can't believe this, and I won't name the institutions, but 2 ladies were raped in the hospital.
Oh, my goodness. 2
ladies were taken advantage of while under anesthesia at a surgery center.
And I don't mean to interrupt your thought, but what I wanted to interject here is, in a sense, it is tragic that you're getting so many more of these kinds of calls and questions. But in another sense, maybe the Me Too movement has given some people the courage to come out and report things that previously they wouldn't have reported, too.
Well, I think you're 100% right that people are more open and willing to bring it out into the public.
Good.
But getting back to the question at hand is, if the church had any reason to know of this person's background, which they should if he had previously been arrested, they would absolutely be responsible for this situation, because you've got to be very, very safe and careful when you're dealing with children and do a background check and have people checking up and making sure it's safe. You know, if it's so sick, it's so sad. The parents are sending their children away to camp hopefully giving their child a nice experience, getting them into the country in a nice setting, and this happens to them. It's just not right.
No. It would seem to me that a background check would be fairly mandatory in a situation like this. All I can call upon is my own experience, and I know that when I volunteered in church, I had to have a background check performed to just even help cars get parked in the parking lot, you know?
Well, I know before we hire anybody, we certainly do an extensive background check.
How could that slip through the cracks like that? That doesn't seem imaginable.
So this person should immediately contact a lawyer that's had experience handling these sexual-related cases. They definitely should contact me because they need to teach these people that they need to be more careful in who they hire and not let this go on.
Not only that, but it says my daughter has been severely traumatized, and we feel the camp should pay for counseling for therapy, which sort of suggests to me that the young girl is not receiving therapy at this time. I would think the sooner the better to get her started on that.
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as you can, you should get them into care.
All right, Bruce. Well, again, whether it's good or bad that there are more of these cases, that I think the jury, pardon the use of the pun there, is still out. But as long as these things are going to happen, at least we know we can turn to you and get some answers, and in this case, a little bit of relief knowing that there is something that they can do. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, Todd. Thanks for letting me participate.
Absolutely. Look forward to talking to you next week.
Okay, take care, Todd.
Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Bruce L. Scheiner, attorney for the injured. Now, if you would like to submit a question for next week or in the future, please go to the website, kickscountry929.com. Look for BLS Bruce L. Scheiner. And you can give us as much or as little information as you want. As you notice, you never hear personal details, so your confidentiality is absolutely respected. Now, if you're in a legal situation that's bugging you, you might want to do something more immediate than wait and see if your question gets answered on the radio. In that case, I would recommend you calling the office of Bruce L. Scheiner and Associates in Port Charlotte and getting yourself an initial consultation for free. 941-743-7777. 743-7777. One more time. 743-7777. Don't let anyone take away your rights. Call that number and tell them that Todd Matthews sent you from Kicks Country 92.9.